perhaps if she'd not been so captivating to him, it would have been a bit more bawdy and tawdry in his recounting of it. So he
describes her as an angel, doesn't he? And
and
if he'd have known she was an angel, he wouldn't have turned up stoned and too fucked up to go home. Which is classic. I've done that plenty of times. I'd say half the time I didn't get through the door, but so he's a lucky boy.
I'm assuming you mean is that a metaphor you're using?
No, I mean the physical. I didn't get through the front door.
I wasn't sure. That was some sort of euphemism that I didn't want to let fly over my head. But okay, I get it.
It's showtime, folks.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Into the Music. My name's John. That chap over there is Andy. Andy, what say you?
Oh, not too much, other than I've got another song for you. And to be honest, I think you've heard these guys, because if I remember correctly, when Greg and I did this guy and his band, when Greg and I did a reaction to Tyler Childers, you, I believe, commented on the reaction video. So I know that I'm certain that you've at least heard one of his tunes. Is that correct? Do you know more of his stuff?
No, just that one that you posted.
Okay. Well, I wanted to bring him back on the channel again because it seemed like he got a pretty good reception, and I wanted to show some of this guy's other great songs on here and kind of get you to react to one, since I've already done one with Greg. And so the song that I'm going to have you listen to is Little Feathered Indians by Tyler Childers. So give that a listen and circle back and let me know what you think.
That's it.
Well, my buckle makes impressions on the inside.
That's a beautiful start. I really like the acoustic guitar. Just threw other things into my mind, but it sounded really nice. And then you get the sort of the other elements of standard country music coming in. So a banjo, there's definitely a mandolin, touch of the fiddle. Yeah, really nice start. In fact, I'm just going to listen to that bit again.
Well, my buckle makes impressions on the inside of her thigh. There are little feathered Indians where we tussle through the night. If I'd known she was religious, then I wouldn't have came stoned to the house of such an angel who fucked up to get back home.
Got a really nice bouncy rhythm. Yeah, just bouncing along. It feels really upbeat, pretty happy actually. Smiling music. Interesting lyrics. I really like that first verse. And of course, he's a good old boy ne'er-do-well and she's an angel, of course. Let's see what else he has to say.
Looking over West Virginia and smoking spirits on the roof. She asked, ain't anybody told you that them things are bad for you? I said, many folks have warned me. There's been several people try, but up till now there ain't been nothing that I couldn't leave behind. Hold me close, my dear. Sing your whispering song softly in my ear, and I will sing along. Honey, tell me how your love runs true, and how I can always count on you. Be there when the bullets fly. I'd run across the river just to hold you tonight. Well, my heart is sweating bullets from the circles it has raced, like a little feathered Indian calling out the clouds for rain. I go running through the thicket, I go careless through the thorns, just to hold her for a minute, though it leave me wanting more. Hold me close, my dear. Sing your whispering song softly in my ear, and I will sing along. Honey, tell me how your love runs true, and how I can always count on you. Be there when the bullets fly. I'd run across the river just to hold you tonight.
And you're back. And I think you, as I recall, I think you liked the Nose of the Grindstone song that we did by him. How do you feel about this one? And am I correct in that assumption?
Yeah, I like that one. And I like this one as well.
See what you did there.
Yeah. Yeah, this one was a bit more. I think some of the appeal, the previous one, from my memory serves correct, superb storyteller, great voice. The music was fairly incidental to me because I just remember an acoustic guitar. I'm sure there was more, but that's all I remember from that song. And people were, bang on about country styles and whatever. And I was just saying, well, it's just decent tune, and that's all there is to it. I don't really care about genres. This one was a bit more yeehaw, there was a bit more to it. I have to say, starting off, this acoustic guitar was absolutely gorgeous, and it continued all the way through, but you really heard it at the beginning, but it was, soloed, as it were. And it almost sounded like a start of one of those Led Zeppelin songs where Jimmy Page does a bit of like acoustic and then goes into, obviously it wasn't, but it was that ballpark, And then you have his mates join in the sort of traditional country. So you had I'm sure there was a banjo. There's definitely the mandolin. Oh, yeah. And right at the very start, it did that dring, dring, that sort of almost, I call it a raindroppy effect, which is really lovely. And then the fiddle, and then later on slide guitar as well. And, and I'm sure they're all chewing tobacco. But yeah, it was properly country. Now I have to say, first off, country music is one of those things that I don't really listen to at all. So I'm quite it's good and bad because, you know, I'm quite ignorant of it, so I don't have a, you know, a theory on well, this is should be like this or whatever. But I'm also totally ignorant to it as well. I mean, I got into a wee bit of country music years ago through Lyle Lovett, but that was at the point where he was just changing his sound, and then he went into the big band sound, which I really liked as well, actually. So yeah, totally ignorant. So I really like this. This was a very, lyrics aside, musically, it was a very happy song. It was a lovely beat bouncing along. It was catchy as hell as well. There was a nice, it was like this booming rhythm bouncing all the way through it. And I did picture wagon trails going in my mind. There's a lot of, I mean, the references in terms of the lyrics are quite sort of centered on that sort of country feel, like West Virginia, and talking about all the, you know, the sort of things he talks about, which is, again, alien to me, but it doesn't make a difference. I still really enjoyed it. And the simple thing, you know, he's a bad boy with a good heart, and she's an angel that will probably, you know, save him.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna happen. And but it's that traditional setup, you know, which again I enjoyed. I found it funny. I enjoyed it. I have to say this in terms of, and I did catch the lyrics because they were on the bloody screen.
Right, yeah.
But I have to say, I thought the first verse was his strongest verse. I really like that. And the others are good, perhaps got a little bit more sentimental. I don't know, but what did he put in there? Well, my buckle marks impressions on the thigh, on the inside of her thigh. There are little feathered Indians where we tussle through the night. I mean, just that's an interesting way of conveying that that physicality in terms of these impressions and stuff. That's it's a really nice way of doing it without being, you know, too sort of in your face about it. It's just nice.
Yeah, there's almost sentiment to the sexuality of the situation, and I think it's sweet that he's looking back on a sexual experience, but not like being gross about it. You know what I mean? Like, he's being really sweet. Like, we had, like, she's this amazing woman, and this is how she makes me feel. Perhaps if she'd not been so captivating to him, it would have been a bit more bawdy and tawdry in his recounting of it. So yeah,
he describes her as an angel, doesn't he? And you know, and if he'd have known she was an angel, he wouldn't have turned up stoned and, you know, too fucked up to go home, you know, which is classic. I've done that plenty of times. I'd say half the time I didn't get through the door, but you know, so he's a lucky boy.
I'm assuming you mean is that a metaphor you're using?
No, I mean the physical. I didn't get through the front door.
I wasn't sure. That was some sort of euphemism that I didn't want to let fly over my head. But okay, I get it.
Yeah, so I did enjoy this. I thought it was catchy as hell. I say it's not my particular bag, but it certainly didn't stop me from enjoying it. He has got a cracking voice as well. I think that I would lean more towards his storytelling type of songs. I think that would entertain me slightly more. But, you know, and that's probably why, from memory, the first one I slightly edged it. But, you know,
that's fair. That's fair. I mean,
nothing wrong with this.
Yeah, I offered that one up first too, because I just think for me, it's, I don't know if I'm a glutton for punishment, but like that that hurts me more to hear that. And sometimes it's cathartic. So I really enjoy that number. This is just wholly sweet though. Like to me, it's like, it's just really lovely. The second verse, which you had mentioned, you touched on the first verse, which is really great. There's something I love about the anecdote of looking over West Virginia smoking spirits on the roof. Spirits are like a brand of cigarette, American spirits, that are, you know, they last twice as long as a regular cigarette because they don't have all that additive bullshit. It's almost like an organic cigarette, but I mean, it's still it's still a damn cigarette. But he's looking over West Virginia, smoking spirits on the roof. She asked, "Ain't anybody told you that them things are bad for you?" I said, "Many folks have warned me. There's been several people try, but up till now there ain't been nothing that I couldn't leave behind." So he's talking about how easy it would be to quit cigarettes because the only thing that he's ever encountered that he couldn't quit is her. And that's just so sweet. Because you're talking about like a physical addiction that you can easily leave behind, having met someone who you're yearning for supersedes that of even a physical addiction. So that's really just kind of sweet and clever. And while it's not perhaps the storytelling that you're looking for, that you alluded to in Nose of the Grindstone, it's still excellent lyricism and whimsical, plays with words. And there is this, like, he's painting a picture. Like, I'm imagining a guy, it's maybe like 2:30 in the morning. They're on the roof. He's smoking a cigarette, post-coital. And she's calling him out on it. You know what I mean? And he's got a pretty clever, sweet retort for her. That probably just made her swoon instantly if he were to drop that on her. So yeah, it's really great. And forgive me while I go into one more. While my heart is sweating bullets from the circles it is raced, like little feather Indians calling out the clouds for rain. Oh, the imagery there. I'd go running through the thicket. I'd go careless through the thorns just to hold you for a minute, though it leave me wanting more. So then again, he's infatuated with this young lady, and it's sweet, and it's endearing, and it's kind of a perfect juxtaposition, and both from a lyric standpoint and sentiment standpoint, but also from a musical standpoint, to the song that I just had you listen to, where it's about a breakup and it's bitter and it's neo soul. And so I thought, what an excellent little dichotomy here, or dynamic we have between these two tunes, that are kind of the opposite in just about every way you can imagine. So, but I'm glad it sounds like you dug it.
Big time.
Yeah. And if you guys, anybody out there listening, is a fan of Tyler Childers or wants to weigh in on the song, please feel free to do so, because I love a good story in a song, or good lyricism. So cool. Well,
we should get some more of this, I think. Definitely.
Yeah, I think it would help. We've talked about this before recently too, and in that the reaction to the last song I just alluded to, where it's probably good to, not all the time, but occasionally diversify the musical portfolio we have here on Into the Music, so we can, I came across this in a moment of trying to expand my horizons. Perhaps if just a couple people out there that stumble upon this are in sort of that same headspace, maybe this could be a song that kind of resonates with you and maybe leads you down other paths you wouldn't have gone, because that's always sort of the most adventurous or fun part about being a music fan, right? Is stumbling into this holy shit moment where you didn't think you would be where you are with a band or a song or what have you. So
and that's why my next song to you is going to be a Congolese polka.
Great. There's been such a huge gap in my life where that needs to be filled. So thank you, Superman, for coming along and addressing that for me.
I've got to find a Congolese polka now.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You should let your mouth write checks that your ass can't catch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Delivered now. Oh, that's great. Well, I'm gonna put a bow on it, John. Thanks for being open-minded enough to sit down and give this country song a whirl.
That's a pleasure.
Yeah. It's. I'm not a huge fan of like popular radio country, but this stuff goes back to the roots, and it just speaks to me so much that I'm glad I could bring it to the channel and share with y'all. So all that being said, thank you guys out there for giving this your time and your view. And if you like it, only if you like it, please feel free to hit that thumbs up. You can hit the bell notification icon to be reminded of when we drop videos in the future. Please feel free to comment, because I know John, Greg, and I are really big fans of interacting with you guys. We got some great people out in this audience, and we see proof of it every time we post. So until next time, that's been John, I've been Andy, and this has been Into the Music.
Bye-bye.